back to the channel, survivors. Today, baby, we're diving back into Towers of Aghasba. If you guys have not checked out this brand new open world survival, maybe more like crafting RPG game, I highly recommend that you do check it out and give it your honest review. If you guys have not seen it, most recently here, I want to say 2 nights ago, I did a 3-hour live stream diving into the game, giving you guys my raw first impressions of the game. And I honestly just kind of spit my thoughts the entire 3 hours as I was playing through the game. Well, it looks like the developers are listening, and I don't mean me. I'm not boasting my content. I don't think they tuned into my 3-hour live stream of Towers of Aghasba, but nevertheless, I think across all mediums, they have been listening to the players' feedback, and they have actually implemented a lot of really good changes here for this brand new update and a brand new patch. Let's dive in and talk about them. So starting off, we got ecosystems. The ecosystems, they have changed a couple of things. We have the feeding creatures at the edge of an ecosystem will now count towards colossal tree upgrade requirements. Again, really good change here. We have underwater ecosystems will gradually have more fish as the player regrows groves. Again, really good, allowing players to, see more fish, get more fish, eat more fish, provide more fish, all of that stuff. Lastly, we've got fixed an issue that caused the foliage to not appear around ecosystems on the PlayStation 5. Speaking on the PlayStation 5, they did actually do a massive update here for the PlayStation 5, a lot more optimization to hopefully have the game run a lot better. Diving back over here, we've got some combat improvements. Now, this is going to be where I'm going to start kind of giving my take on things from my initial live stream reaction. So, reduce the small withered spider HP. Now, for me personally, I didn't really care about this. Like, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. I don't think they had too much health starting off in the game. I was able to kill them just fine with the standard axe that you get initially. But going back to combat here, they've increased the spawn time and reset time on all withered nests, which is really good because that means you can farm these withered nests, destroy them a lot easier. Additionally, they've got fish now will appear closer to the surface to make fishing easier. Again, really, really good change. I tried, dude. I tried and I could not find any fish. I couldn't even use my spear to find any fish. And yeah, so I'm glad to see that one. Additionally, we've got tools do not lose durability when used in combat, and they've made the hatchet, the pickaxe, and the shovel have a 2-hit combo. Yes, yes, and more yes. Thank you so much, dude. This was a big complaint of mine via the live stream that when you start loading through the tutorial, you don't get access to combat right off the bat, which was very frustrating, by the way. Very, very frustrating. So you have to talk to an NPC. They teach you combat skills that you then can learn the spear, learn the bow, and then you can start to defend yourself. But up until that point, you can't, and you're utilizing tools like an axe or a pickaxe or even a shovel to defend yourself against these withered spiders, or even, trying to kill some of these creatures to get hide or things like that for early game, blueprints and recipes. So with that being stated, I really love the fact that they have now changed it to where those tools do not lose durability when you're using them to attack. Next up, we have the campfire. So they state that here the campfire will now unlock along with the basic tool recipes. So once a player unlocks the ability to craft a hatchet and a pickaxe, they'll also get the ability to craft a campfire. And last but not least, they're also having the spear be unlocked inside that exact same thing when you unlock the basic tools. This is a really good change. I think it's going to make the early game experience a lot better for new players diving into the game, because they will now be able to have a campfire automatically, start crafting, start cooking up some of the meat if they've already killed some of the creatures, locally, or killed some of those spiders, you name it. And then on top of that, obviously getting a spear to help defend yourself. And lastly here, they've got some bugs and crash fixes. Now, I'm not going to read through all of these things. You can read them all for yourselves because they're just simply things that they have implemented and fixes they've implemented for crashes that people were experiencing, across the board, depending on what your situation was. But what I am excited for is actually the last thing they announced, and that is what is on the horizon here for the next update, dude. First up, we have Hold to Harvest. All right, we've got quick swap tools based on what you are harvesting. We've got the increased limits on planting within an ecosystem. We have more bug stability and crash fixes, obviously. We've got balancing the spawn rates of resin through mushroom caps, flint, and fiber. They're going to increase the foliage amount, which is going to be the bushes, the clays, the kelp, etc. Then you've got a screen freeze after a player falls down to the water from climbing stamina depletion. They are going to increase the tool durability, so then your tools shouldn't lose durability as fast. Fixing a insta die when swimming after stamina is depleted, which is what I experienced, which was absolutely terrible, so I'm glad they fixed that. And then they're going to streamline the starting island experience, aka the initial tutorial. And man, I am personally excited for all of these changes. Honestly, the biggest one that I complained complained about via my 3-hour initial play session of Towers of Aghasba is the one hold to harvest, dude. I absolutely could not stand that I had to smash E on my keyboard over and over and over and over again versus clicking with my mouse or just simply holding E or simply pressing and holding down on the, left mouse button. Crazy how that wasn't in the game, all right? So there's that. I'm glad they implemented that. And secondly here, it just feels bad to run up to a tree and there's a stone right next to it, and then there's a bush right next to that, and then there's, you name it, that requires all a different tool. And now I understand, right? I come from playing games like Ark Survival Ascended or Conan Exiles, right? Where you physically have to swap the tool in mid-motion to then harvest that thing. You're using a pickaxe to chop down, a rock if you want flint, or, you swap over and use a shovel to dig something. Like, that part I understand. However, in Towers of Aghasba, it felt terrible. I don't know why it was. I don't know if it's because stuff were just piled on top of each other and it just felt, really clunky that you had to press and hold the R to the radio wheel to select a different tool to harvest the thing. I don't know. It just felt like I really wanted it to just automatically select whatever that tool is that's required that I have equipped already in my radio wheel to then harvest that material. So I'm very excited about that change, and hopefully they implement that sooner than later. And I say that because currently right now, as it sits on Steam, they have 600 reviews, and they're unfortunately labeled as mixed. Now, I know this isn't, super uncommon when it comes to brand new games launching in early access, especially on the Steam platform. There's a lot of people, that have put in really good, solid reviews, and I think a lot of the stuff that they are planning that is on here on the horizon, not only in the most recent update, but also coming in the updates, consecutively, are going to fix a lot of those issues. And I do expect this to actually change to more of a positive or mostly positive amount, as time goes on, and those people, jump back into Towers of Aghasba and see and recognize those changes. But with all that being said, guys, I had an absolute blast diving in and playing Towers of Aghasba. I just wanted to make sure that you guys were all aware of the awesome changes that are coming, and I'm going to be definitely jumping back in here and checking out all of them as soon as they arrive. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe here on the channel for everything survival crafting related. And if you guys missed out on that 3-hour plus live stream, check it out right here on stream, where I dive in and give you guys my first raw reaction to playing Towers of Aghasba.